I say relationship is hard work, then long distance relationship is harder work. I remember when my husband and I first started dating in 2020, like our first month was almost when the COVID-19 pandemic started, and we're just getting to know each other, and we had our plans. He had his plans, I had my plans, but because of the COVID lockdown, we didn't get to see for a while, and that was like at the beginning of our relationship. Hello homies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Christiana Shomi Enyere, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back to my channel. So in my last video, I spoke about 10 important questions to ask your partner before taking your relationship so serious. I think it's even safer to ask most of the questions in your talking stage. So in today's video, I will be talking about how to make a long distance relationship work. So we know that what is obtainable in this era now is majorly long distance relationship, not long distance based on only geographic location alone, but long distance as regards maybe work schedule and some other factors that have posed a threat. According to the dictionary, a long distance relationship, also known as LDR, is an intimate relationship between partners who are geographically separated from one another. Partners in long-distance relationships face geographic separations and lack face-to-face contact. It is stated, in fact, that LDRs are particularly prevalent among college students, constituting 25 to 50% of all relationships. Well, in Lagos, I would say maybe 75% of all relationships, because some people are working on the island while some are working on the mainland, and then you don't get to see as often as you should, and even when you get to see, work might call. There are other reasons that can cause separations, like I've stated, like work assignments, school assignments, political assignments, different kinds of assignments, and also health conditions could also pose a distance. So in my note here, I say relationship is hard work, then long distance relationship is harder work. If you're not ready to put work into your relationship, then don't start any relationship. And if you're not ready to commit yourself to making a long distance relationship work, it's better for you to just stand it down until you're ready to have a relationship or to make things work. I remember when my husband and I first started dating in 2020, our first month was almost when the COVID-19 pandemic started, and we're just getting to know each other, and we had our plans. He had his plans, I had my plans, but because of the COVID lockdown, we didn't get to see for a while, and that was at the beginning of our relationship. So it took a lot of work and commitment from both of us to make sure that, okay, let's make up for this distance that is between us. Though we were both in Lagos, but seeing each other was not possible, as there was restricted movements and only some kind of essential workers could work. So I started some points here that would make a long distance relationship work, and top on my list, if you know me very well, is communication. Communication is always top on my list, especially for long distance relationship. There is really nothing you want to replace communication with. I stated here that the importance of communication in any kind of relationship cannot be overemphasized. Communication is the sunlight. You know what sunlight has to do with photosynthesis? That is for plants to get their nutrients and break down their food and all of that. They need sunlight for photosynthesis to occur. So communication is the sunlight in the photosynthesis of a relationship. Except you're not with your kind of person, there's really no reason why you would not talk to your partner. Why do you feel talking to your partner is stressing you? If you truly care about your partner, you shouldn't even it's not negotiable. You want to talk to your partner rather. First thing when you wake up during your day, you keep up with whatever activities you both have been having, and then at the end of the day, before you sleep, it is very important to talk, discuss, give a rundown. Oh, this is what happened during my day. This is how I spend my day. This is how my work was. This is how my colleagues were. Just kind of build the bond. So if talking 3 times a day might be stressful, I feel like you can talk twice a day, and then chat, drop yourself messages in between. I also stated here, plan something. If you're not together in the same space, it is better to plan something together. Plan when next you're going to see, plan to visit, plan to hang out, plan to see a movie together. Making these plans would make you have something to look forward to. Like, although your partner is not right beside you, but when you plan things together, plan like events, outings, plan to see paint at home, Netflix, movie, you don't even have to spend much to plan this kind of event. So when you plan, it like really builds the expectation of each other. So my third point here is create a routine together. Now, creating a routine together is important because at this time, okay, this is what both of you want to do together. The routine could be maybe listening to the same music from the same playlist. It could be watching the same movie together. It could be reading the same book together. Like, creating a routine just makes sure that you are in a part of your partner's life every day, and your partner is also in a part of your life every day. I remember when my husband and I were dating. Okay, I'll be using my husband and I as example because Yoruba usually say that ẹni tó bá máa dáṣọ fún ènìyàn tí ọrùn rẹ̀ la máa wò dá. So my husband and I used to have like a Bible devotion. We're using this U Bible app where we'd create devotional plans together and then study together and then pray together at the end of the day. Build trust. It's important to build trust because you are not seeing yourselves. You're not there every time of the day, and even when you and your husband or you and your wife eventually get married and you're in the same space, you are not always going to be together. So it's important to build trust for someone which you feel like you want to settle down with. If your partner is not giving you reasons to be concerned, like there's no point trying to be insecure. And also, when you are trying to build trust, make sure that it's reciprocal. Your partner can say, okay, this is where you are at certain points in time, and you can also say, oh, my partner should be at this also point, or maybe my partner should be doing this at this point in time. So like, when you have the trust, if or when somebody from outside comes to say, hey, your partner, he did this, he did this, he did that, you know where to come in, you know what to say, even if you're going to take it up with your partner like later. But in that instance, you don't allow the third party to like have a say in your relationship. So another point I put here is be committed to each other. So I don't know, in one of our videos, I stated that my husband and I decided that there was no backing out in our relationship. That was our commitment to each other. Like, this one, we are here together. Nobody's going. Whatever it is, we'll fight, but we'll deal with our issues. We'll argue, but we'll deal with our issues. Like, we're in it together. There's no going back. There's no backing down. So you really need to be committed to each other so that you know that, okay, this relationship is worthwhile. You need to be invested because people will talk to you. People will say a lot of things. People will try to convince you. But because you are committed to your partner, both of you understand, you have an agreement. So the commitment to each other would allow you guys to stay true to yourselves. So another point I put here is speak each other's love language. Okay, about love languages, there are like 5 different kinds of love languages. Maybe I should do a video on that. But there are like 5 different kinds of love languages. And although it is possible for someone to actually prefer all of the 5, or maybe the person likes all of the 5, but there's usually one that tops the list. So I think my husband and I had some kind of flip-flop in getting that because I didn't know my husband's love language was acts of service. But I knew that he was always going out of his way to do something for me. This man, hey, even the thing I send, the thing I not send him, he will always go out of his way. But me now, I'm a very, very baby girl. My own love language is gifts. So, when he does some things, I'm like, you could have just given me this instead. Oh, you could have just done this instead. Oh, you're coming home, you didn't buy this for me. Oh, you should have just bought this. But then I just realized that his own love language was acts of service because that was what he was doing the most. And I think physical touch, yeah, for me, it wasn't even physical touch. I think communication, then gifts, Then words of affirmation, like those were my shining lights in the armor. So acts of service and the other physical touch were like bottom list, and it was the reverse for my husband. Like, but we kind of found a way around it. So you need to understand your partner's love language and speak your partner's love language, because it goes a long way to show that you care about your partner. Like, the gift doesn't have to be big gifts. It could be just buying them fruits. It could be buying them like what they need for work. It doesn't have to be like something really big. But if you can afford something big, buy it for your partner. I'm just saying. So last but not the least, discuss expectations, boundaries, fears, doubts, beliefs, and values. So expectations now, in my last video, like I said, I spoke about something like this, like asking clear questions. What are we? Are we friends? Are we best friends? Are we in a relationship? Do you see this going to the next level? It's not going to be fair for you to hold on to someone you don't see yourself getting married to. Meanwhile, you are not letting the person move on to better things. It's not fair. So you need to discuss your expectations of each other. Like, what would you expect of your partner given some certain circumstances, and what will your partner expect of you given same circumstances? Then boundaries. It's very important to have boundaries in your relationship. And boundaries in your relationship doesn't necessarily mean boundaries between you two, but boundaries that will guide you two, especially in your relationship with others. Remember that before you met your partner, there were some other people in their lives. So it is very important for you to create boundaries. Okay, beyond this time, I don't want you to talk to anybody, or beyond this time, you can drop your phone. Beyond this time, no other person calls you. There are some things that will breed insecurities, and you really don't want to say it. So you have to set boundaries about visiting friends. Can you visit opposite gender friends? Like, as a male partner, can you visit your female friends? As a female partner, can you visit your male friends? So you need to discuss all of these boundaries. Checking each other's phones, you need to agree. I don't feel like there should be an issue, but then if the nature of your work warrants privacy, I believe that there should be a way to talk around it. And that's why you need to also discuss boundaries. Then fears, we have different fears. Your fears might be different from your partner's fears. For some people, their fear is not having a child. For some people, their fear is their partner cheating on them. Some people, their fear is divorce. Some people, their fear is maybe dying young. Some people, their fears are like maybe having terminal diseases. So you need to discuss your fears and then know how to walk through the fears, and like not letting the fears overcome the best part of your relationship or your lives. Then doubts. When you are in doubt, I think you should just call your partner and talk to your partner. Okay, I'm not so clear about the kind of business you're doing. I'm not so clear about your job role. I'm not so clear about this your friend. I'm not so clear about the call you receive at this particular time. Like, could you just like give me more information, so maybe my mind will be at rest? Then beliefs too. It's important to discuss beliefs. I think I'm going to make a video on why you should marry a Christian if you're a Christian, or why you should marry a Muslim if you're a Muslim. But I'm a Christian, so yeah, I'll talk about what concerns me. Why you should marry a Christian if you're a Christian, because the belief system in the world is messed up. Like, different news, different propagandas like arise every day. So it is very important that whoever you want to be with shares the same belief as you. So if you're a Christian, it's better for you to marry a Christian, because having to marry someone from another religion may pose a threat, not just to you, but even to your kids, because they don't really know which religion is which. They don't know which belief is which. They don't know which side to tilt to. And then they tend to ask many questions. And children are very inquisitive. So sometimes instead of asking you, they might decide to ask their peers or their teachers or older like relatives, which might kind of mislead them in the long run. So it's better for you to discuss your beliefs, discuss your values. Okay, what are the values you want for your children? Do you want your children to dress in some kind of way? Do you want your children to attend some kind of school? Do you want your children to have mobile devices before the certain age? Do you want your children to access social media at a certain age? You need to just put all of this into consideration and discuss it in the long distance relationship. There will be so many things to talk about, I can assure you. As long as both of you are being open to each other, you can never run out of topics to discuss. You can never run out of things to discuss. Something would always come up and always come up and always come up. You know, one of my fears before getting married was, what are we going to be saying? What are we going to be discussing? Like, but I can tell you, every time my husband comes home, there's something to discuss. Every time I come home, there's something to talk about. Like, we're always... Oh, my light has gone off, so I guess that's bye for now. Thank you for staying tuned to my video. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye.